What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. Today, I'm going to talk about probably the greatest Halloween-themed album ever released. Not sure how many of those actually exist. An album that is explicitly Halloween curated, I guess would be the word. We have what might also be the best Duran Duran album ever made. I recently finished a deep dive of all of their studio albums. I only knew the first four. Those first four back in the 80s, had really not been invested in Duran Duran since then, other than like whatever hits make it on like, the mainstream listening spectrum. But I absolutely love deep diving their albums. They were fun. I think it's untapped a part of me that really likes electronic synth pop new wave music way more than I ever thought I did. I don't know. Really, really enjoyed their albums. I did not review this one. Danse Macabre came out in 2023 because it has cover songs. It has remakes or covers of Duran Duran songs from earlier years, including one that was not officially released on an album. It has some original tracks. It is just an absolute fun, rollicking. Is that a word? It is a word, but I'm not sure it applies to this. It is an absolutely amazing album and might be the best Duran Duran album I've heard. I'm not going to rank it among the others only because it does have covers, it does have remakes, it does have new stuff. It is this weird mixed bag of stuff. But I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I discovered it here in October 2025, leading up to Halloween. So the timing is perfect. The vibes are perfect. The decorations on my street are perfect. I've really, really enjoyed this album, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to review it. I'm not going to play music from it, and I'm going to encourage you to check it out and tap into your own new wave electronic dance, synth pop, techno vibes, because this is a really good album. Came out in 2023. It's officially their 16th. It was purposely curated to be a Halloween-themed album, and it is just fantastic. Opens up with a remake of Nightboat from their debut album. This is a pretty much, Nightboat. If you know Nightboat, this is Nightboat. It is literally just Nightboat 50 years later. It's a little more upbeat. It's a promising start to this album. It's got a little bit of a 21st century techno embellishment, but it still feels like Nightboat, which is a fantastic song off their debut album. Amazing way to open up this album. By the way, they released the original version in 2023. They did a deluxe version in 2024, which really only has 3 new songs. I will address that at the end of the video, but I am going to address the 3 songs that are on the deluxe issue. So Nightboat opens. Then we get a new song, Black Moonlight. This is I think Nile Rodgers is on this. This is a bass-driven, sort of dancey, synth, funky song. It works. It's funky. It's synth pop. It pairs well with Nightboat. It pairs well with Love Voodoo, which follows, which was on their wedding album, the big one from like the early 90s. So we get Nightbeat. We get Black Moonlight, which is just bringing the dance, synth, funk energy. We get Love Voodoo. Awesome remake of this. Still has that really bouncy, great bass groove to this. I love, one of the things I've fallen in love with is Simon Le Bon's voice. He might not be the greatest singer, but he's got that Simon Le Bon character. It really almost feels like all of these albums are almost like short story collections, and Simon Le Bon is just your narrator in all these, sort of like your man without a name type narrator who's living through all these things, and his voice just has this character personality that it just works well for me. But he's really low-key in this, really kind of soothing vocals to match with like the bouncy upbeat groove, great backing vocals, and the bass on Love Voodoo just kills. Then we get our first cover of a non-Duran Duran song, a cover of Billie Eilish's Bury a Friend. Pretty true cover to the Eilish version, but it definitely feels more like a full Duran Duran kind of enhanced experience. Like they haven't really tweaked the song, just made it sound more like a Duran Duran track, and it absolutely works. It works on this album. After a while, I think the Eilish version stays pretty low energy the entire time, but this one kind of has this like this drop into a dance beat after a while that kind of takes it to a Duran Duran, 90s, 2000, 2010s type vibe. Lot more energy than the Billie Eilish version. We get some weird vocals in there that are tried. We get that cadence that she has delivering the vocals. Simon Le Bon's trying to get that. That's not quite the same. They're kind of softening that a little bit just to make it a little more Duran Duran-y. But I think it's a really good cover. And I think if you did not know it was a Billie Eilish song, you'd be like, it's a pretty good Duran Duran song. Then we get a cover of a 1977 French song from an artist named Cerrone, I think is Cerrone, believe is his name, called Supernature. Very analog sounding in the beginning to kind of harken back to the 77 sound of like synths. And then we kind of drops into this bassy dance pop that's just this awesome Duran Duran energy. Super fun. The bass playing is awesome. But that really early synth vibe that you would maybe hear in the late 70s, early 80s that they're using on here just adds to the experience. And it's another song that if you didn't know it was a cover, if you didn't know most of these were a cover, well, some of these you're going to know because how would you not? This is one of those you're like, oh, Duran Duran's harkening back to their old days. This might have like a pre-debut album type sound. Really good choice of covers. Really awesome song. Then we get another original, the title track, a little bit of industrial, slight bit of industrial. Like they're not going Ministry style here or anything like that. We get a little bit of an industrial edge. It's like a nice, darker, almost Simon is trying to get a little bit of maybe a flow in here, like flirting with a Blondie Rapture-esque type flow. That doesn't always work. He sounds like an English white boy trying to rap, but it works on this album just because this album is so much fun. Why not, Simon? Do your thing. Then we get a 1983 Duran Duran song that I think was just a B-side, or I think it was on a B-side, but Secret October 31st. Creepy music. It's sparse. It's kind of this low-key funky ballad. Great vibe. Almost has this weird like little like do 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 like creepy little Christmas intro. It's like the Halloween version of like a traditional Christmas song. Like if Home Alone was set in Halloween and not Christmas, this is the type of do 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 little music that would open it up. Really, really cool song. Awesome, awesome song. Back from a 1983, originally recorded or written back in 83. Really good. Works perfectly on this album. Then we get a cover of the Specials' Ghost Town. Awesome choice. We get the bass, we get the horns, we get the spooky vibe. Just absolutely killer choice. Then we get a cover of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. And this starts off like the intro almost has this Depeche Mode type synth vibe where it's a little bit darker. But then we just go straight into this upbeat synth rock that's just like, you can hear Paint It Black in there, but it's like, it really is almost like a mashup of like some dance track with Paint It Black. And I'm sorry, but it works. It's completely swag. This band is like, we can do whatever we want. We're having a good time. Like if they had opened with Paint It Black, I'd be just a little like, wow, this is maybe not. But by the time we get this part of the album, I'm just like, do what you want, guys. I'm having a fantastic time listening to this album. Then we get a mashup. Super Lonely Freak. We get a remake of Lonely in Your Nightmare off Rio that goes for about 2.5, 3 minutes. And then it just, after the chorus, I think it's the chorus, just goes right into Rick James's Super Freak. We just are all of a sudden in Super Freak. It's not a jarring transition. It absolutely works. I don't know why it makes sense, but it does. It's effective. And it's kind of silly, but it's also really, really cool. I don't know. Duran, I'm applauding you. Then we get a cover of Susie and the Banshees' Spellbound. Another great song. They're bringing some rock energy to this. This is probably the most quote-unquote rockin' thing on here. Great cover, Great choice of songs, great delivery. The band is killing it. Then we get a cover of the Talking Heads' Psycho Killer. Straight up dance rock. Kind of starts with some low-key like drum programming, not like some over-the-top techno dance stuff, but more like low-key type, like LCD sound system on the download type stuff. But then it drops into this great dance version where they're just doing Psycho Killer. And it works. It absolutely works. They're taking these dark, twisted, Painted Black, Psycho Killer, Spellbound. They're taking these sort of darker energy songs, infusing them with this pop energy, somehow not losing the darkness, somehow making it fun. Like, I want to throw a Halloween party simply so I can play this and have this just running the entire time. People will be having a good time. And then we close out with another original, Confessions in the Afterlife, kind of a ballad. Works absolutely perfectly with, kind of gives you a nice like calming, relaxing ending. But if you listen to the lyrics, and it fits the mood, and it's a really nice sort of come down after what is for the most part a high energy album. That's the original release. A year later, or in the following year, they dropped an extended version which has 3 extra songs. I kind of think the extended version is worth getting. It's probably not that much more expensive. It opens up with a song called Mask of the Pink Death, which is an instrumental. It's kind of spooky, but at the same time, it kind of feels good. It's almost like spooky Nightmare Before Christmas type stuff. Or it's kind of eerie, but then you get these kind of upbeat characters, and so it's kind of a mix of both these feelings. I don't think it's needed because I think Nightboat is a fantastic opener, and I don't think you need this instrumental opening before Nightboat. I actually think Mask of the Pink Death might have worked like somewhere in the middle, like Danse Macabre, Mask of the Pink Death, then maybe go into Secret October 31st. I think it might have worked better in the middle, but I'm not complaining. It's a great song. It's a great opening. It's almost like the credits are rolling at the beginning of the album while we listen to this instrumental. There's a cover in the middle of the album of ELO's Evil Woman. They skip the whole piano intro. You made a fool of me. None of that's there. They just go straight. This sounds like a disco dance remix of Evil Woman. There's a guitar solo in it. It works. It's fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. And then the other remix is a remix of New Moon on Monday called New Moon Dark Phase, which starts off with kind of a spooky sort of ballady vibe. They really bring it down. It's kind of just focused on the vocals and the lyrics. And then there's kind of a drop midway through that's not a hard dance funk drop, but a little bit of a softer dance funk drop. But this works also. Like, I absolutely love this album. I'm going to play it for the rest of the week because I'm filming this on a Monday. Halloween's on Friday. I'm going to be dropping this. I haven't really been paying attention to the lyrics, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to listen to it later today. Might drop it during my class, during our festivities, because my class loves to dance. I teach kindergarten. But I love this. Like, if I had to rank this among the other Duran Duran, I'm not sure I would put it above 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 are just... That's my junior high experience. That's like my youth right there. You had to like Duran Duran if you wanted to talk to the girls in my class. And so I listened to Duran Duran and had conversations with the girls in my class and knew what I was talking about. So I still love those albums. But this album might be their third best. Like, it's got Nightboat on it. That's on the first album. That's fantastic. It's got Lonely in Your Nightmare. That's on Rio. Fantastic. It's got these great covers. This is a fantastic album, people. Indulge in your secret Duran Duran love and check this album out. If you already have checked it out, let me know. If you haven't and do, let me know. Love to know if I'm just crazy. There are things here, right? These covers, as ridiculous as they are, they're good, right? I'm not wrong about this. I don't think I am. All right. That's all I got. Go check Danse Macabre out and dance and be macabre and enjoy your Halloween. That's all I got. Peace. Talk to you later.